Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates, and today we continue our Pinoy love lineup. With me, as always, is Jom, and today we talk about Just a Stranger, starring Ann Curtis and Mark Gambao.
Gamba, yes.
Yeah. Marco Gambao. Uh, so back in 2019, this was like everyone was talking about it in my college. Like, oh, this is the 50 Shades of Grey of Pinoy movies, and I was like, I hope quality-wise it's not.
I was like, I hope not, but I would say this is better.
Yeah.
This is a way better 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
You know?
And like
Minus the, the straps.
jeez, you threw me off. But yeah, I would say it has less to do with, love and has something to say about our own culture. Like what the last video we did try to do, but execution wise wasn't the best. This one I'd say executes it pretty well, actually. But yeah, and the whole premise is that Ann Curtis plays an older woman who falls in love with someone who's 19.
For age. So she was 38. Well, it was 19. Hey, I mean, he's legal. Technically, he's legal. And we have seen many situations like this. But I mean, Nick Jonas, relationship kind of like this.
Yeah, I mean, well, we start off with a rocky premise a bit, and then we start with what country? Portugal.
Well, Portugal, but we start off in the church.
We started.
This whole thing. Yeah, this whole thing is just a flashback. This whole movie is just her confessing her sins to the priest.
I really like the priest, by the way.
Same here. I love how he was like, "Spill the tea, sister, please." Like this man has nothing better to do. He's like, "That's the best entertainment I've gotten the whole week." You know.
It's like either that or speak to like 17 people that don't care really what I'm about to say.
Yeah, like, ooh, I cheated on my math test. Ooh, I broke my dad's car. Ooh, I had sex with a 19-year-old. And he's just like, what?
Can you imagine if he was that priest from Banshees of Inisherin? I'm like, I guess things are fucked.
He's just very real with you. Like, you're kind of an idiot. I can't believe you watched Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, we can do that one day. But yeah.
Nice.
And then we go to Portugal where May. It's funny that I know a lot of people named May in the Philippines. Yeah, and you do it too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people named Jericho. I know a lot of people named.
What kind of fucking name is Check? Never mind. Portugal.
I don't know. It sounds perverted.
Yeah.
It's a horrible nickname, and I get why he hates it. I get why he would like get mad about it. But yeah, we start out in Portugal. We find out that May is. I mean, there's a lot of hidden depth at this first scene where she's in Portugal, Real Madrid.
Huh? Portugal. Portugal.
Sorry, where's this place again? Sorry.
It's like beside Spain. It's like the small part of the. If you look at the map, you're like, oh, the big part is Spain and a small bit is Portugal.
That little circle.
Or like, I'll show you the map next time.
Alright, well, we'll put it up here for the viewers. That's where Portugal is, if you don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're there, and May doesn't like to go out. For some reason, probably has a sickness, we thought that, she gets into a phone call with a guy she calls Daddy. So I was like, oh, rich father, girl going on vacation, okay. And she's like, oh, I wish you were here. I was like, oh, that's nice. Father and daughter, Ooh, that was wrong. But, yeah. But there's a little bit of resentment in her.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of plasticky-esque in her tone. So I'm like, who's this daddy person?
Yeah.
You don't know.
And then by the beach, that's where she and Jericho meet, and then he's like, thought she was gonna pass. Go with Jericho. Yeah. No, I was like, what's his name again? Jericho. I was like, oh, I was concerned you're going to pass out. And she's like, you sure you weren't just checking me out? He's like, sure.
Did this happen to you when you first see? This is my first time seeing Marco Gamboa in a film.
Yeah, it was
So
the
when I
first
saw-
time, too.
Yeah. When I saw him for the first time, I was like, I didn't see the trailer, but is this the guy? When I saw him, I was like, he's just a regular teenager looking at a very beautiful woman. Cool. And then he takes off his shirt, and I was like, that's not a kid anymore. What the fuck? He's taller than me. And he's like jacked. And I was like, he was a child when he had the shirt on.
It's just, it's
and
Pinoy
then now
He-Man.
he looks like he's like nearing 29 or some shit.
It's the Pinoy He-Man transformation. Like with the shirt,
Exactly.
he's Prince Adam. He takes it off, he's fucking He-Man.
Yeah, how old is this kid? Okay, he's not 94. He's older than you.
94?
Yeah.
He's 94?
No, he was born in 94.
What? Fucking private bullshit. Anyway, but yeah, he takes May on a tour of Portugal, but she's like, I've seen all these places. What can you really show me? And he shows the places where the government made it more attractive because it used to be filled with brothels and other questionable places, and they painted it pink. And he's like, he tries to flirt with her, and she's like, is that all you can do? He's like, take me back to your place. I'll show you what I can do. It's like, well, my friends are there. We can't do that. Why don't we rent out a hotel?
Yeah. No, but that scene was intense though. Like where they're underneath the bridge. It's like he's making fun of her age. Keeps calling her ate, tita.
Yeah.
You know, po.
Yeah.
If you call somebody po, then it's a sign of respect. But of course, to some people, it's like, you calling me old. He makes fun of her for that, but then she makes fun of him for being a kid, for being a little too young.
But he can't take that.
Yeah, but then again, he's going, I could do a lot of things with that much kid.
Yeah.
And he does kiss her underneath the bridge. I was like, whoa, she's 38 in this movie.
Yeah. I love how
This is not that old, by the way. She plays as a person who's supposed to be older, but
yeah. And then they go to the hotel, and like she has to pay because he's just a kid, essentially. And then they make love, and then after that they're like, oh, I have a girlfriend. Funny you should say that. I have a husband. Oh. Also find out that Jericho's dad is the ambassador to Portugal, so he can't be too wild because he was already expelled from school in DC taking AB political. Like, what fucking boring choice do you have in life, man, that you choose AB political? But you learn out that his parents is Bush. Like, oh, okay, you're normal.
Yeah. I mean, like with this character, I was like, who takes up AB political when you're like this? Then you find out, oh, okay, got it. He has a typical Filipino. So, sorry, but that's reality.
Yeah, and we're allowed to make the joke because we are from the Philippines. If you didn't know. But like the next day, he's like, "Can I see you again?" She's like, "Look, man, this never happened."
There's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
We'll never see each other again. We'll become strangers once I go back to Manila.
Yeah.
Or where were they? Pampanga?
I think she was essentially from Manila, but she was staying in Pampanga for like with Phil for a bit because he's on business. But yeah, they all go back to the Philippines, and since he was kicked out of Washington and didn't really behave in Tokyo, his dad gives him a job, and he's like, "You better not fuck this up. You better straighten out your life." And then the worst thing is like, "Oh,
in a very like
I've seen this."
Yeah. Mayos
Yeah. Worst part is like, it's fine that you don't pay. I mean, he's exposure. Like, fuck.
Yeah, and by the way, Marco Kumbo, Jericho, is a very attractive man.
Yeah.
Like, all the girls swoon over him. The guys who work there kind of tease him
Yeah.
because he's the hot guy in the building.
Yeah. It's a very
Yeah.
attractive tour guide, essentially. But that's where he does meet.
Until you go in, homie. Hey.
But that's where he does reunite with May. And you meet her husband, Phil, who is on business. But like
Played by Edu. Fuck, what's his last name?
Manzano.
Yeah. He's on the crawl, like this Filipino show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he meets with her and he's like, "Hey, can we? I thought we were close." She's like, "Can you please shut up?" He says something like, "I have explored every inch of your body." He's like, "Can you please shut the fuck up?"
Yeah, kid. Yeah. I mean, hey, kudos to Marco. He's like Marco Balboa. He plays a eager
Naive.
19-year-old.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah.
You know.
Then when he's going off his position, and you're like, no one's looking for you when you're still on duty, and you're like, I will follow this attractive woman. And no one's like, fuck it. I don't like it here anyway either.
I mean, if it was Iron Curtis at your job and you had history, would you?
I don't think you want. Let him live his dreams.
Yeah, right. So shut up.
But yeah, you find out that Phil is very neglectful of May, and you see that there's no love between them. They're just there, just hanging on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like she brings her to business parties as the trophy wife, and I'm like, yeah. Again, not. I mean, for sure, it's not exclusive to this country, but we've seen a lot of those, right?
Yeah. And he's obviously attracted to the other business people because he's like, oh, I like your businessman. I just have.
Hilda.
Yeah, I just have May.
Yeah.
She kind of knows things, but it's not like Hilda. So May's like, you know what, fuck it. Why not continue this? And she does. And you're like,
Okay. By the way, the sexual tension here, I give it props.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, I like the chemistry too. I'm like, you know what, I buy this.
yeah. Like, I want a sugar.
Also, there's a
Hey,
rule.
man, who else will fund this podcast than my rich sugar mom?
You know what, maybe we get famous enough and Ann Curtis and her family gets to fund this too because they're like, you go on our podcast. You want to be a sponsor? Sure. We would love that.
By any chance, anyone who's watching us knows Ann Curtis and who's willing to send us the link, let us know.
Hello, we are fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, that continues and like there's a rule where like you can't call me, I have to call you. This is a weird relationship because my parents say otherwise.
Yeah. Like, I do like that where she like squeezes his butt while he's working. I'm like, ooh.
Also, like, he's tour guiding, but he's distracted by her, and he extends World War II by 20 years. In that universe, people are like, it's never ending. It's just war.
It ended here, but never here.
But no, it continues on. I like how he also calls her up to be like, can you Google how paroles work? Please.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I would say their chemistry does work.
It must be hard being a tour guide too and not being paid when you're bringing different all around Pampangas. Like, can I please just get a free meal at least?
Yeah, it doesn't have like the shitty dance. Like, don't pay him.
Yeah.
He's there for the experience. Bitch, you're not even giving me food so I could bring this girl to a.
But yeah, you already see Jericho's problems with his family. Where it's like, my mom tells me to, my dad starts things, and if I say no, I get the shit kicked out of me, and then my mom will start things where she's like, you know how much I sacrifice for you? To make things worse, my girlfriend's like, such an ass kid. She's like, yes, do what your parents tell you to do. You have no choice.
Not gonna lie, I didn't listen at first. I really thought he was just a kid just going off.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's just going on while Anchors is just like, this 19-year-old's like, you know? And then he does jump in bed and they kind of have D6. Yeah. They have D6 a lot.
Yeah, but eventually it becomes more than just D6 for him, at least. Because he takes care of her when she's... I don't know what you call the condition, I forgot.
FMS. Like, like the first time he ever experienced FMS from May, he was like, oh shit, what's wrong? He was like, FMS. And he was like, well, don't you mean PMS? You know, I was dying. I was like, you son of a... It's such a shitty joke. But yeah, so FMS is nothing where you're very hypersensitive to like pain and anything, even touch. It's like horrible.
Yeah.
I looked it up as well with Jericho. And he takes care of her for the whole day. She's like, I'm so sorry we can't do it right now. I was like, oh, okay. Come here for that.
I'm here for
That's
you.
when she was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we do keep cutting back and forth from the main story and then her in church.
Yeah.
And then the priest is trying to justify things, but like at the same time, he's like, go on.
He's like, please.
Then what happened?
I don't want to do the Sunday stuff anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she goes on. Oh, you know, when a very rich man needs to get his confidence boost, he marries a very young, very beautiful girl. And the priest is like he's trying to peek through like the cover. He's like, how attractive is she? I was like, dude, you really got nothing to do the whole day, huh?
Love how he's also younger than her. It's like,
it's
my first
like he calls her
impression.
Paul.
She's like, but, fine. You know what? You're a priest. I'll let it slide. But yeah, I do love the back and forth between the confession and the story. But yeah, eventually Febby does come back, and I like how she's like, fine. But did you get her something? He's like, no. And then he's like, that's the puppy dog guy. He's like, can you pay for this? Woo-woo? I have no money.
Oh, it's $4. That is an expensive architecture. Not like a interior design book.
Like, what the fuck did you buy that from? Is that from New York?
No, it's a National Bookstore.
I know, but is National Bookstore get it from New York?
I don't know, but I was like, they don't sell books that expensive, I think.
I haven't seen a 4K book in National Bookstore. Though I don't really look at the art books. If you know, you know. Please comment down below.
Yeah. Like if it's an art book where it's a straight up illustration from a famous artist. Anyway, we're deviating from.
I know, but
here.
we're just like, is there 4K books at National Bookstore? I just go there for like pens and yellow pad when I was in college.
How else am I gonna get my Batman backpack? You know?
But yeah, they have to go back to what they consider normal for a bit, and May tries activities that bring life to her mundane life. Like she goes to the arcade, brings her friends along, even though her friends are like, we grew out of this, May. Is there something you should tell us?
Yeah. Also, what's up with her friends? They're such killjoys.
I know, right?
Come on. Like, yeah, sure, you're old, but like, have a bit of fun. There's nothing wrong with rekindling.
Yeah.
You know, the candle.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that analogy, but yeah.
Like, come on. You don't think churches in Portugal are exciting? Why can't you think this is more exciting, though?
Yeah, like, for sure some people at their age who would go to a foreign land and go to the bar. Then they would go to the bar, I can just party that up. Like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, May is just trying to rekindle her childhood where she goes to Power Station. She goes to bars, like, gets really drunk. Amazing performance from Ann Curtis.
Yeah.
Throughout this entire movie, I will say. Sure, a couple of lines were a little...
off.
A little hick. Yeah, like it was just off. But then she'll go back into her like really good performance.
I like the performance where she doesn't say a word in the club and she's crying and then she goes back to normal.
And when the beat drops, she starts screaming her head off. I was like, that's not that bad. Okay.
Yeah, and the people don't know otherwise. They're like, yeah. I want mine.
And then like there's this guy who like tries to wrap his arms around.
Yeah.
And she just pulls a Joel from the rest of us. Man eats shit. I was like, ha!
And then we get to a very tense scene because her friends bring her back to Phil, and he's like giving her. He brought her to like another boring dinner, and he's like, "You could have at least acted interested." By the way, who's Jack? And you're like, "What are you doing? Please get her hands off this woman. I don't like what she's
Yeah,
doing."
where he's like massaging her, and then his grip starts to like tighten.
I thought.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's the end of the movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just. No, but yeah. Like, he finds out about Jack.
Yeah.
Or Jericho. I really hate that name. Not Jericho. Jack.
Check.
Yeah, he finds out about him, and she pretty much spills the beans. Like, we're not really in love. We know the reasons why. Why are you still clinging on to me when you don't need me anymore? Like, I was your confidence boost when you started, but now that you have an amazing business, that's your confidence boost now. You're clearly cheating on me with Hilda. So they both agree. Fine. I have my affairs with this person, you have your affairs with that person, but you're cut off.
Yeah.
All the money that you're getting from my business, my hard work, cut off. Also, I mean, fair, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, fair enough.
And then they go back. Jericho goes back to the place where she was before she met Phil, and along the way you hear like this off dialogue of people being like, "Oh, he's the counselor's son. Oh, he's the his father's the opponent for boss. Let's do something about that." You're like, that's pretty good setup, honestly.
Yeah, the foreshadowing
Yeah.
might happen because it is a sketchy neighborhood. Even the nice lady, she was like, "You best hide your phone because you don't know what neighborhood you're in."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, that's sense." But yeah, they do the risky business again, and they go out to a bar. At this point, they're really hammered at home that Jericho's really tired of his family and his girlfriend. Where his girlfriend's in Bicol, she's pissed off that he didn't want to go with her because he has work.
Yeah.
Parents want him to stick to this and wants him to be a politician in a couple of years. And yeah, he just wanted to live life like as any Bourdain.
Yeah. And then we get to the next day with really good dialogue because she's like, do you want to be with me forever? He's like, yeah. Then why don't you break up with Febby? Well,
yeah. And then Ann Curtis blows up with this fucking amazing performance. I gotta. That's good.
Yeah.
This is legit a good scene where she's just telling this kid who doesn't know what to do with his life yet.
Did you feel
the hard truth?
The atmosphere changed when she's like, "You want to be with me forever?" Yes. Why don't you break up with Febby? And you're like, "Oh shit."
Oh, they did an amazing job because I think this is what they did. There was sound like wind blowing.
Yeah.
Probably insects.
Yeah.
Once she said that, it just went flying.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I think. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it. Anyway, she blows up and she says, "Fuck you. You're not making it." And like, yeah.
Being an adult means making decisions on your own. And when those consequences come back to you, you have to face them. Not being like, "Oh, my parents say otherwise. My girlfriend says this. Please don't hurt me." Oh.
Well, Marco Gamboa did an amazing job acting like a kid who didn't know what he was doing with his life.
I like the
where he was crying and he's like in a very, I would say,
childish because he's like, "I don't know what to do."
It's just like this is like something I don't ever want to see come out of a person.
Yeah,
you know, just begging, hugging them by the legs.
It's painful to watch.
Like,
I love the exchange.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
At least I didn't marry someone for the money in exchange for a spineless kid. You're like, what do you got? What do you got, Jericho? What do you got?
Right.
You tried To be like, huh?
Yeah,
He just like costs money. It's like, what about you fucking idiot?
yeah. So I was like, that was really good. That was really good dialogue from both these actors.
Yeah. And then that night, he's like, you know what you said hurt, but you're right.
But it was the truth,
Yeah.
and this was the thing he had to hear. And I don't know what route this was gonna take, but you could see in Jericho's face that he knew what he had to do.
Yeah.
It's either he had to find a job that he enjoyed, or and live his life, or live his life with this partner, with May. Do what his father tells him to do. Be a politician just so he could take care of them.
Yeah, and May will always be in the dark, which is unfair to her, because she gave up everything essentially.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's like a weird balance, but you know that he was starting to take charge.
yeah, gives her his anklet to be like, just wait for me. I'm not sure how long, but this is a sign of my promise. And then this is where I didn't think the movie would go, because he's ambushed by the men we saw earlier and he's beaten up. I just thought he'd be beaten up. I didn't think he'd be entering
toast.
yeah, entering unscripted WWE match apparently. So he was hit by a 2x4? Or sorry, 2x2?
2x2, and I was like, shit.
It's like, why
And then like when she goes, he's in a vegetated state. I was like, what? Where is this movie going?
The priest like, the priest, my God, oh fuck. Right.
Yeah, he was like, my God, wait, sorry. When you're not supposed to do that in church.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? This subverted all my expectations for this movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck's gonna go? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then they essentially like, they bring Jericho back home and just like take care of him from there. And she rents a house across from their house just so she could,
Yeah.
By the way, it's not a cheap house to rent.
Yeah.
It's very expensive, and she's been staying there for weeks, just monitoring from a distance. And then she wakes up one morning just to find out that he died.
Do you think her husband has something to do with that? Or do you think it's really wrong place, wrong time?
I think it might have been wrong place, wrong time.
Same here, because he's like, yeah, I'm an asshole, but like, murder's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, but it is open-ended. You could make the story more interesting by saying, yes, maybe he did kill him.
Yeah.
You could also think that maybe wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, it is heartbreaking seeing Jericho's body being dragged out. You're like, fuck, I didn't think this movie would go this way.
He's gonna die.
Yeah.
He's gonna die. And I was like, wow. And then Anne Curtis just crying her eyes out. I was, oh, this hurts. I'm watching this in 3 a.m. I'm like, this hurts. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. And then she ends her confession. It's like, I have to go to the service. And then you hear Febby and the parents saying things that really don't match what Jericho was saying about them or what he wanted to do with his life. Like, his dad's like, you know what? Sometimes we didn't see eye to eye, but he always agreed. And his mom being like, yeah, he always wanted to be in politics. And Febby being like, yeah, I pushed him to be in politics. And like, I knew he had potential to change the world.
Oof.
And then May gives, and Curse again delivers this performance. Like, Jesus Christ. I really like the fact that you have this in you.
Yeah, where like the two parents gave their eulogy, then the girlfriend. Again, yeah, it's all bullshit. Where he was like, "Oh yeah, I had to push him.
Justice for Jericho."
He was an obeying child. Even the dad was kind of sleazy. Amazing performance from Robert Senya. But
the Justice for Jericho, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so cringy. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then Anne Curtis's character comes up and she's just like, I want to say something. And then she blows up. She tells them, like, you are horrible parents. You were, Like, you made him do things that he didn't want to do, and didn't listen to him,
Yeah.
and punished him for,
You're hey, be political, really? Jesus Christ, you guys are vanilla.
yeah. Yeah.
I think the line that hit hardest the most was that no matter how much he despised you, he just wanted to not disappoint you, and that was the basis of success for him. Like, that was the basis of success. Fuck! Rick.
Yeah.
Even the priest was like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, Richard starts going, oh, dang it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wow. And then he goes, miss. And she snaps out of it. It was all in her head. It's exactly the thing that we do in the bathroom. We get into arguments.
Like, you know what, you piece of shit, and by the end you're like, he was a nice person. I met him once by Rick. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And she was kind of fumbled, in my head, like, the whole time I was watching this, I was like saying, just say you're his therapist. Just say you're his therapist. Just like, don't say anything. But yeah, all the things she wanted to say was all in her head. She gave the most standard eulogy, and then she leaves.
Yeah.
Of course, us not getting satisfaction of like, you piece of shit parents.
Yeah.
Look what you did to your kid. We don't get that. And the girlfriend's kind of suspicious. Like, she follows San Curtis and she's like, who are you? And then that's when we get the title of the movie.
Honestly, the thing in my head was like, we never got to thank you for the eulogy, and you'll never have to. And Curtis becomes the Dark Knight of Pampanga. But no, it is a good ending. I think it's well deserved. Even though they do a fake out, you're like, you know what? People do that in real life anyway.
Yeah, because if that scene does happen, the amount of repercussions she has to go through and the amount of drama that is left can't cover this whole ending. So her being like, I can't say it, because it's just gonna create more problems, and Jericho wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Is the whole thing. Like, I say it's a smart ending.
Okay, because this is a really good movie, and again has something to say about, how there's a thing in the Philippines where kids do the things their parents want them to do, but that's not what the kid wants.
Yeah. And yes, we are doing this for our Valentine's week, so you could just be here for the sex or for the deeper meaning.
Yeah.
Then again, you could just put this list on Netflix and not watch it because we all know what you're doing. Anyways. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy Valentine's Day, kids and folks. And hopefully these movies that we're pumping up will heighten the experience.
Yeah.
So,
all those things being said, what would you rate this?
I would give this one a solid 8. Or 8.5. Not a solid 8. An 8.5. This is a good watch with a good message to be received. They do tackle a lot of things. Yes. The hook is, as I see here in its synopsis, Filipino erotic romantic drama. Sorry for the accent. That is its hook, but there is layers to this story which I kind of like, and you don't see it a lot with cinema here. And hopefully they do more shit like this. I would love to see more, and we would gladly do reviews on it. If you guys know more movies kind of like Just a Stranger, leave it down in the comments below. We would gladly review it. But yeah, it's a 8 out of 10. Everybody did an amazing performance. I don't think anybody lacked here. Even the priest, who was just there for probably 3 minutes, did a killer job. It was shot beautifully. The director was great. Yeah, 8.5.
Yeah, I'll also give this an 8. This is a really good movie, and like, you come for the erotic stuff, but you stay for like the commentary of like how people here raise kids and Like I think Seb said this when we were off camera, that the younger generations who are becoming parents now understand where kids are coming from. So hopefully in the future, there's not a lot more of like, this is what I want to do, instead of like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing be political because my parents say so.
You really have something against AB political.
I just like, oh really, Washington? And you're like, let's pick the most political course for you, son.
Yeah.
But yeah, both 8s out of 10. Oh, sorry, 8.5, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been Just a Stranger. We have one more Pinoy love lineup for this week. But if you want to see more of us, please like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. Also, if you have more suggestions, we don't always do this per Valentine's strictly. If you want us to commentate on other Filipino movies, please tell us what you would like to see from us.
Romantic dramas or not,
Yeah.
any that you think is really good, please let us know, because we would love to show off our movies here. Because we know we do better. Yes, we did. My X and Y's, and that wasn't really the best example. But here is a pretty good example of a romantic drama.
Yeah, that's more than the box it came in. And you can find more of us also on Facebook, Spotify, and TikTok under the same name. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go, and Facebook to see us react to trailers, stream games, and about our lives from time to time. And you're like, you haven't reacted to Shazam 2. Watch Wonder Woman video to see why. Because we're tired of DC. We're tortured from DC right now.
Yeah.
Individually, you can find me at Gandalfus1995 on Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you find me at JohnGOM_ on Instagram, and it's my account.
Yeah, and like I said before, this is the end for this romantic video, and then we'll head out to the next one. So we'll see you guys there. Bye.
Yeah.